This is my dad. He's about to turn 70 years old and he has zero technical experience. Can he get a job in tech? And that's my cat. He told me to put that in. And this is him sitting down, about to write his first lines of code. Let's go. Let's do this. From 0 to getting a job at 70. Now, the point of this series is that I just want to show people that with a little bit of accountability, all the resources are available if you want to try and land your first job in code. Like, even if my dad doesn't manage to get a job, I still hope that the video inspires people that are trying to get that first job. And we're just using Free Code Camp for this first part of the video. It's an amazing resource. I'll link it down in the description, all completely free. So yeah, let's begin. Let's see my dad's first line of code.
Change the text the H1 element code from hello world to cat photo app and watch the change in the browser preview. When you're done, press the check your code button to see if it's correct. Alright, so basically I change that to
Yeah. Yeah, look, you got confetti. That means you did it.
I did it.
Yes. So there you have it. My dad has just written his first ever line of code. Fantastic. The first step on the road to success. And now for the rest of the video, I'm going to highlight a few important points and then go in a bit more detail, stuff that I think is really important. That's actually a really good observation, like the 3 and 4, because that's the line numbers. So we know that this is line 3 of the code, but this is the first thing that we've done. So like, what the hell is above that? But yeah, so we have the opening tags for HTML and the opening tags for body. And the opening tag for HTML is what your entire web page is inside. This is like like everything that's on the web has to be inside an HTML, because otherwise the web doesn't know that it's in that. And so obviously, because we know it's an opening tag, we know if we scroll all the way back to the bottom, there's a matching closing tag to go with it as well. And that's the same with the body one. And the body is like the main content of your web application. And so normally on a real website, there is some stuff between here. But for now, obviously, we don't need to really worry about that.
What language is this that we're learning?
HTML.
Oh, that's
yes.
the name.
This is the main building blocks of everything on the web. It's all in HTML, hypertext markup language, and that is what all these tags on. It's so that the browser can understand like what we're doing. It can read the document and turn it into an actual website. And so that is the first important point. My dad noticed that he was coding on lines 3 and 4, even though that this was the first thing he was doing. And he asked, why did it not say line 1 and 2? And that's actually a really good observation, like from someone who's never even coded before. And so we scrolled up and we pointed out the HTML and the body tags at the top of the code. And I explained that the HTML tag tells the browser that this is a website, and the body tag contains the content of that page, and that's why it says it starts on line 3 and 4, because the body is inside the HTML, and what he was writing is inside the body. You can
copy this. Right.
Yeah, and then you can paste this with, and remember, copy, sorry, I should have told you, the way we copy in code mainly is like when you highlight it all or whatever,
it's already there. I mean,
yeah, I know, but control C, yeah? We always use the keyboard shortcuts, and then control V for paste, which is command, sorry, not control. On Mac it's command V. There you go. And now that's what it looks like. So your main heading on the page is the H1, and then your subheadings, depending on how important, like, are this. So, for example, if you have like an article and there's like multiple sections in the article, so you can maybe have like multiple H3s and H4s on the page, but H1 there will only ever be one H1 on the page because that is like the heading, the overall heading of the whole thing.
Yeah, I understand.
And I know this is how it looks like, right? But this is just the default how it looks like. What it looks like doesn't matter as much as how important the content is on the page. And the reason this is important is because someone with a screen reader that actually is blind and can't see what it looks like still needs to know which is the important headings so they can understand the context of the article that they're reading or whatever. And so that's why this semantic language is really important, that we differentiate between all the different tiers of headings. I made 3 really important lessons. So the first one is that it's really important to experiment and make the code your own. That's why I was getting him to copy that whole block of code into the thing, because even though it wasn't that exercise, and that's because it's really important to experiment and make the code your own, and I mean like really play around with it and try different things until you truly understand how it works, because this is like probably the most important point in trying to learn to code. It's like the absolute foundation of trying to learn and not just learn to code. Like, I believe that's the foundation for just trying to learn anything in general. Because if you're just following instructions without experimenting, you're not gonna fully grasp like everything, and you're gonna miss out on like the deep learning. And like, so yeah, it's really the experimentation that helps you internalize concepts and make them stick. And there's a really good video on this idea from an ex-Cambridge student or current Cambridge student, I don't know, and she explains how this approach is key to mastering any subject, and I'm going to link it in the description at the point of the video where it's really important how she explains like how to revise for exams, basically how to cram all this knowledge in, and yeah, it's really useful. And then after this, like the second point that's really important is I actually made a mistake, and then my dad was like, "Oh, can't you just go back?" And then that's where I introduced him, like it's actually off screen, but that's where I introduced him to the first keyboard shortcut, which is Control Z, or well, like we're using a Mac, so it's Command Z, and that's to undo what you've just done. And this is like extremely important. And like I was trying to show in this clip, like you can see I'm teaching him other keyboard shortcuts like Control C and Control V, Control C to copy and Control V to paste. And this is this is really important, because as software developers, our entire job is to optimize things, and whether that's optimizing code or applications or even people's lives through the products that we build, and the same mindset applies to our workflow. It's not just about being faster, it's about like working faster and more efficiently, and like about creating like and optimizing processes for ourselves. And that is why learning the keyboard shortcuts is essential. Like, even though for my dad, maybe at this stage it's faster to like right click and press copy and paste because he's not used to pressing the keys, but you really need to get used to doing this, especially if you're a junior aspiring developer. You need to get used to those keyboard shortcuts, and yeah, you need to just practice every single day, and then it will come, and then your workflow will be optimized. And then thirdly, after my dad experimented with the H2 and H6 headings, I explained an important point, that these heading tags are actually an order of importance. That's how they look on the screen, how we just saw, is not actually how they necessarily always look. Like, you know, if you've been on the internet, like headings can look different to how they do in that text. But the important thing is that these are this is like as I was explaining in the video that these are the building blocks, and it shows us the structure and the content. And if someone were to go on the web page, like someone who can't maybe see and they need a screen reader to understand the content, then that's going to tell them like the structure and the importance of the headings. So they'll know that H1 is always going to be like the title of what they're reading. They know that H2 downwards, it's going to still be like headings and titles, but of lesser and lesser importance, subheadings and stuff. So like, yeah, again, all really important stuff on the page.
Okay, tell me something. Do these gaps here and lack of gaps here,
Yeah,
is that significant?
good question. No, it absolutely isn't in terms of how the code will output.
Right.
But if you're working with a team, obviously you want to make it look nice and good for them.
see, right.
But like obviously in real life, you have stuff that automatically does that for you. Like when you press save, it will format your document for you.
Right.
And finally, this is a clip of my cat running across the keyboard, showing us who the real best code is. And yeah, having a little giggle. And I thought I would show the creator of that work to the camera. And so, yeah, thank you very much. That's episode 1 of Teaching My Dad to Code. Stay tuned to see if we can get him a job.